Thank you for buying this showcase from Fixture Displays. This video will guide you through the installation process. Here is a snapshot of all the parts, major parts and accessories. As you can see, you have these frames as well as the top and bottom panels, as well as two pieces of glass shelves. This is glass. This particular piece is the back panel, the one facing the consumer. And then with the rubber banded piece are left and right pieces. Then we have the two door panels. One is left, one is right. And then you have the top and bottom beam. They are different parts, these two beams. And I'll show you how to identify them. The one with the groove on one side and also groove on the other side. This is the bottom piece. You see the holes right here, and that's where the door hinges go. Now this particular piece, one side is bull-nosed, that's facing the consumer on the top. So this is the top cross member. So make sure you identify each properly before you put them together. And here you have the levelers that's to be installed on the four tubes. And here's the cap. You put it on top of the openings. This is the lock, and we'll show you later how you. This is the hinge, and then this is the lock. This is the door stop for the doors. It comes with adhesive tape. These tubes are protector sleeves for the shelf locators, and putting them on help you glass grip a little better and prevent sudden shattering. And this particular piece goes into these grooves, and you have the wrench we provided for your convenience. Now shall we get started? Here is the left panel, and you will realize that the groove is on this direction, and the bottom ledge, and you have several ledges, and then this is rubber banded together to hold them during assembly, because without that it can come apart. After you assemble, then you can take this rubber band off. And we're going to show you how to put the left panel together. The particular hardware, we're going to show you momentarily how that works, the mechanics. Now remember, the bull-nosed piece face the top should match with the back panel's bull-nosed top. So make sure you take your time identifying the part before you put them together. Now the bottom groove face down. Okay. So we're going to show you quickly how this particular hardware works. This particular extended locking device goes into the groove. As you turn the screw inside, this retracts. As it does that, it tightens the fit. It brings the groove closer to the side panel, therefore lock it in place. And this particular piece will slide into the groove that is on the back panel. So here, gently you slide it in. Then you will push it over. You'll see there's an inch or so that pushed over, so that you can slide in on that side as well. Now this is the juncture you would push in, and watch carefully the sealing, the sealing insulation. Make sure they are neatly in the groove. Then you push this back toward the top, and do so carefully. You want to make sure the metal piece is in the groove. because if the metal piece is not in the groove, you are not going to have a tight fit and it's going to fall apart. But if the metal piece is inside, then you tighten that to give you very sturdy structure. Likewise, you'll do the right hand side panel. And at this stage, it flex a little bit, but after the entire thing is assembled, it is reasonably rigid. So take off the rubber band. Now identify the buono side of the top cross member. And find where the rest of the buono piece is and put it on that side. The assembly is very similar to the side panel. The metal piece goes into the groove. And right here you'll see this hole is where you'll put the cap in. But we'll do that later. So it's pretty easy to push it in. And again, watch and make sure it's in there. And tighten the screw at the bottom. So once you have done that, the structure is a little better. And you watch the ledge. There are four sides. The ledge is on all four sides. That's where you sit the top acrylic piece on. Here's the bottom piece. Remember, this one has groove on both sides. And this is facing up where the door hinge goes in. And match that up toward the bottom piece, and just spend your time, make sure they align properly. And the way that goes in is very similar to the other pieces. There's a little piece you should put in the tube before you install the leveler. There are four of those. There are sleeves for the leveler to screw onto. This is adjustable, so you can adjust based on your floor conditions. At this stage, you should also try to fix the shelf locators. So the screw that goes into the groove, and then the metal nut would be on the outside. Now, the way he did it, he dropped it all the way down, then try to fit it in. I would recommend you screw it down from the very beginning, then drop it in, so it's easier. You'll see this engineer, although experienced, it's taking a great while to do it. If you use what I suggested, screw it down from the very beginning, then slide it down, you would save a lot of hassle. Once you find your desired spot, you can tighten that to a certain extent, but don't tighten it all the way down so that you couldn't move it. You want to tighten it all the way down after you have measured, use a tape measure to measure the four pieces that you are happy where they are. Then you can tighten them for long-term use. We supplied you with 8 of these pieces to allow you to put 2 shelves on. You can certainly just use 4 to put 1 shelf on, and put bigger, taller articles in there. And before you put shelves, make sure you have the bottom piece in there. And if you wish, you can install 1 shelf or 2 shelves. After you have made them pretty level, you can put the plastic sleeves on to give you better grip, as well as a protection against glass. The glass shelves have sanded edge for your protection. It is not super thick, but adequate for most articles. However, glass is still fragile. You must use caution as you install it. And once you feel you are pretty well in the level, you can then install the next one. You can further tighten the screw with a screwdriver for a more permanent use. Now we can install the top panel. The top panel is also secured by the shelf locators. Now, the shelf locators may not be, perfectly eye-pleasing as you wish, and it's not required to use that to hold the top panel down. For example, at your choice, you could use clear sealant or clear caulking to caulk the edge. And that's also done by some customers, but our system provided these parts. Feel free to use. This is the door stop. Come with the adhesive strip. You peel that off. It is sticky, and you can install that into the bottom groove. Center that left and right so that neither door can go past it inside to get interfere with your shelves. So install that first before you put doors on. Now here's the door. You will realize the door have the aluminum strip only goes so far out to the top. That is to leave a place for the door lock. And again, this always face the center. Now on the right, it has a smaller space to allow you to put the hinges on. Again, the hinge screw face inside. It don't face outside for security reasons. Now there's also a plastic piece provided to be a barrier between the plexiglass and the hardware. The reason of providing this part is that to disperse force so you don't crack your plexiglass. And this is the bottom piece. The bottom hinge is very similar mounting system. You would plug it in there first before you put on the door. And this particular pin would go into the big hole in there. Then you slide the bottom into the bottom hinge. At this point, don't forget to insert the plastic barrier. And then tighten loosely the screws. The reason I say loosely is because you may need to fine-tune the position after the other door is also installed. You want to tighten that to the maximum after you're perfectly happy with the alignment. So take your time, don't rush, and just tighten that enough to hold the door in position. If you follow this video closely, you should have the cabinet assembled very quickly. So I really recommend you take the time to watch the video a couple of times before you get your hands on the parts. Very similar, the left side panel, the same method, and you'll see that the two larger open spaces is for the door lock, and here is the lock. You install the lock on one door only, the left hand side door. And again, remember the plastic piece to disperse the force, protect the plexiglass. Fixture displays have a large selection of store displays, podiums, donation boxes, advertising products, among other things, and we're growing in our offerings. We recommend you to check back to our website often, and if you have any questions, feel free to email us or call us. The email address is CS, that represents Charlie, customer service. It's cs@fixturedisplays.com. The way this lock works is that when you turn it, the tongue goes up and down, and therefore it goes into the groove to lock the door. And the right hand side of the lock covers the space of the right hand side door. Now the engineer didn't tighten it to the maximum, whereas after you're happy with position you can do that. And this is the piece covers the tube. If you wish the fit is tighter, just wrap some electrical tape, or if you are perfectly happy with your products, don't plan to take down any time, you can also use permanent glue. And thank you for buying from fixturedisplays.com. Our phone number is 847-894-4247. Thank you.